Time for a new computer. Here are all the parts I got. If you want to see a full list on PC Parts Picker, there's a link in the description.
This is the Fractal Define 7. Among other reasons, I like it because it has a slot for an optical drive. I've already moved the fans lower to make room for that and taken out the fins that were here. All the sides just pop off, and I have mixed feelings about that. On the one hand, that's easy. On the other hand, that's maybe a little too easy. 850 watt, platinum, be quiet, fully modular power supply. All the cables came in a couple bundles. And the forbidden desiccant, mustn't eat. Looks like I have a choice of whether this ventilation fan goes up or down. I'm going to put it down, mostly so that this writing is upright. Imagine if your case's bottom were solid, you shouldn't do that, but there are vents both above and below in this case. Last time I forgot to put in the I/O plate first, but it looks like this one, you can't remove it, so maybe that's something I don't have to do. Everything's names are so long. This is the AMD Ryzen 9 5950X.
Tiny pins are satisfying, but the crunch that they make when you lower the handle makes me nervous.
I'm taking a risk on this RAM. It's error correcting RAM, which is not officially supported by the CPU, but supposedly it works anyway, so I'm going to test that.
And if it works, maybe I will double it. That's the right slot for one stick.
I got this M.2 solid state drive a year ago for my current computer, but it doesn't have an M.2 slot, so I used an expansion slot, and although it was recognized, I couldn't get it to boot off of it. So, repurpose. This middle screw hole on this case is a peg instead of being a screw.
Although the motherboard manual said to leave off the M.2 heatsink.
It's not necessary because that's not a screw. Now I have to connect all the front panel things to the motherboard. There are a couple holes they can come through. Probably most of them are going to have to come through here. Here we go. Audio, USB stuff, another USB. That's the LED on the front and the power switch and the reset button. Fans. I think I've done fans right. This case comes with this fan controller. These are the front case fans. This is the back case fan. This one connects to the CPU fan header on the motherboard. The speed of the CPU fan will control all of the fans, I think is how it works. And this one's for power. And when I connect the cooler, that should connect here. And that will actually be the CPU fan that will connect to this fan controller instead of directly to the motherboard.
Okay, that was confusing, but let me try to explain. Normally, the CPU fan connects to the motherboard's CPU fan header, and the case fans connect to the motherboard's chassis fan headers. Some liquid coolers have separate cables for the pump, but this one does not. When using the fan controller, the CPU fan connects to the controller, and the controller connects to the motherboard's CPU fan header. Then all the case fans connect to the controller and match the speed with the CPU fan. Is this a better system? I don't know! Before this backside gets too crowded, I wanted to mount this hard disk drive as high as it goes over here, because that might be hard to do once it's all filled in. Especially the optical drive is going to be on the other side, so I wouldn't be able to access the screws for this. Daily data backup is compulsory, no longer optional. I mean, that's good advice, but how are you going to enforce that? I do what I want. Now I've connected the power cables for the motherboard. 24-pin one here, and there are a couple smaller ones here. I haven't connected the power cables to the power supply because it's going to be hard to see the back ones if I put in the front ones first. And the motherboard ones are in the front. I've put in the optical drive and the second hard disk drive. I've connected all the power cables. While I was doing this, the USB 3 Type-C plug got pulled out and damaged a little bit. I hope that doesn't matter.
You can see on the right side that's bent a little bit. I did Pentadot with the thermal paste. I don't know, that one just spoke to me. Seems right. So, Team Pentadot. Blazo. The all-in-one liquid cooler is mounted to the CPU, and the radiator is mounted to the top of the case. Firewire ports in an expansion slot. I got an RTX 3070 Ti on the Newegg Shuffle for people coming from the future. It's a raffle so that you get to pay full price, because otherwise you don't get it at all, or you pay extra for scalper prices. If I had my choice, this is not one that I would pick, because it's so enormous. For one thing, because it sticks out this far, that blocks me from putting hard drives over here. This case has a mode where this back panel moves up to the front, and you can have a whole stack of hard drives running down there. But not with this graphics card, it's just too big. And it's also thick. It's blocking one of the expansion slots. And it looks like all this weight is hanging from just the top. That doesn't seem good. But I hope I can fix at least some of that with riser cable. Is it better? It still blocks the hard drive space over here, but I could use that expansion slot if I wanted to. And is this better for its weight? I kind of thought that the weight would be supported from the bottom of the case. Standoff is a little too short, and it's also a little bit too much to the back of the case to line up with the hole. So even if I got a slightly bigger standoff, that wouldn't line up right. Am I missing something?
Here's a look at the side back of the case with all the power cables connected and all the data cables connected. There they are, plugged into the power supply.
Okay, don't pay attention to the monitor and keyboard and mouse I'm using. It's just time to see if it starts up. Let's find out. Power on to the power supply. Okay, the motherboard is doing light things. Did I know it did that? Power button. Fan. BIOS. Now what about this liquid sound? I know it's a liquid cooler. Is it getting quieter? Working out the bubbles? And why are the graphics card fans not going?
The fans completely turn off when they're not needed.
The motherboard is giving an error message. A9. A9 is start of setup. Maybe that's not an error? It turns out that this graphics card is too close to the front of the case, or the left side, whatever you call it. It's fine as long as the load is low, but once it's actually working and the fans are going, it gets too hot. So I guess I'm moving it back.
Here it is back on the PCIe slot. Thanks for watching my computer build video. People enjoyed my previous computer build 10 years ago. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel to be sure you don't miss my next computer build video 10 years from now. Whee!